In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Adobe Flash CS6 to create apps on the iOS device. But what's good about this video is I'm going to show you how to do it without actually having to pay for the developer certificate. And what I mean by that is, if you can create an app in Flash CS6, but if you want to test it on your phone or if you want to test it in a simulator, then you need to go and buy or pay $99 for the developer license from the Apple website. Now, what I've done is I've figured out a way to actually test the app that you're creating on the simulator without actually having to pay for that license. And the way it works is that you actually create your own license. Now again, it's not advised to create your own license to then distribute it to iTunes. You would actually have to pay the $99 to do that and get the correct license. All this video is showing you is how to create an app in Flash CS6 and simply preview it, test it inside the iOS simulator. So again, imagine this is my app. I'm not literally going to show you how to create apps. I'm just going to show you how you view those apps in the simulator, again, without having to pay for a certificate. So from here, I'm just going to go to the top, which you can't see, and just go to Control, Test Movie, and go to On iOS Simulator. You can see it's running. So I've done all of this without having to pay the $99. Oh, it's because I've actually got the simulator open. So if I just go and close the simulator, get up. So again, just to prove that this works, I'm going to click the iOS simulator like that. I'm going to go to Control, Test Movie, on iOS simulator. So all I'm doing here, which you can't see because I've moved the window and only recorded a certain part of my screen, is that I'm going in Flash, I'm going to Control, Test Movie, on iOS simulator. And you can't do this without a license. But again, this license I'm going to show you how to create is a free license, not a paid one. So here I am, there's my app, there we go, done. So you can see that I'm actually testing my Flash CS6 app on an iPhone. I could change the device if I want to. I could change it to be an iPad. So here we are on the iPad. Test it on the iPad. There we go. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you how to do. It took me 4 hours to figure this out, so bear with me with the video. And I'm actually going to be using Mac operating system, Lion, OS Lion, and I'm also going to be using Windows 7 as well. So I'm going to use two operating systems here. However, I'm almost certain you could actually do this all in Mac OS 10. So maybe you'll have to do a bit of your own research if you want to do that. So let's make a start. The first thing that you need to do is inside Flash, I'll just close this, don't want to save now. Inside Flash CS6, the very first thing you need to do is update Flash. I'll explain why in just a minute. So I'm in Flash, I'm going up to the top menu. Again, you can't see this because I haven't recorded it, but I'm clicking on Help, the top, and clicking on Updates. When I click on that, it'll bring up the Adobe Application Manager, and it'll list all the applications that need updating. You can see that I need to update my Illustrator. But like I said, make sure you update Flash CS6 before you do this tutorial. So yeah, click update and you're done. That'll download the latest Flash, might take a while. The reason we've done that is because now you've updated. If you go into create new Air for iOS, this is how you could create your app for an iOS device. Click on that. You'll see that in the properties panel on the right hand side are all your settings for your overall document. And in this target setting here, before I actually updated mine to Flash CS6 with the latest updates, I didn't actually have this Air 3.4 for iOS. I only had the Air 3.2. Again, you could probably do this with Air 3.2, but just to make sure you've got all the latest plugins, just update your software first. So first thing is, once you've made the update, change this target here to Air 3.4. Right, the next thing you need to do is you then need to go to Google. You don't need to go to Google, but you now need to download Xcode. Xcode is the basically the application that allows you to create apps from Apple But again, unless you know C#, you might struggle with this. So that's why I'm going to build a bit Flash instead. But you still need Xcode. The reason you need Xcode is because Xcode is the application that gives you the simulator that you've just seen. So you would need to download the latest version of Xcode. So you can see here, look, download Xcode 4 for free. It's a free application. You can do it from there, or you can go into the App Store, type in Xcode here. This is the way I did it. I didn't actually download it from the website. I downloaded it from the Mac App Store, and I just downloaded it from here. Now the thing is, when I did this, I already actually had Xcode on my computer. I think it came pre-installed, and if it didn't, I must have downloaded it the very first day I got my computer. And I had Xcode 3.4, and that was accessible. I'll just show you. If I go to Macintosh HD, there's some hard drive, and where was it? Where was it? Oh yeah, it was in a developer. Is it platforms? No, documentation. Well, basically, I had, oh, it might have been in there. I had a version of Xcode on my computer already, and I then downloaded the latest Xcode, and I thought, well, I'd best delete the other one, but there's no need to. So at the minute on my machine right now, I've got Xcode 3.7 and Xcode 4.63, and they're located in different folders. Now, in terms of where they are located, it's very important later on you understand which is the latest one. So download this Xcode, yeah, and it should download it into your applications folder, and it should be sat there. Okay, so that is my Xcode 4.6.2, you can see. But I have got an Xcode somewhere else of 3.7. So when you download it, make sure it goes into the applications with that. Right, the next thing you need to do is, and I'm going to show you this bit in the Windows environment. The next thing that you need to do is you now need to download Air SDK. Alright, so don't worry about what this is too much, you just need it. If you want to compile your iOS, so if you want to compile what you create in Flash so that it works on an iOS device, you need to have this Adobe Air SDK. Alright, so all you do is you need to type in Adobe Air SDK in Google, and it'll take you to this link here. Just so I can give you a short URL for this, if I just click this. Taking a while. Okay, so if you don't want to do a Google search for it, there's a short URL, it'll take you to this web address. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to download it for Windows. Obviously, like I said earlier, if you want to do this all on your Mac, you can actually download this for the Mac as well. But my next few steps after I've downloaded this are in the Windows environment. So click on that, download it, it'll take a minute. If I just click on it, look, download Windows, it's going to download it in just a minute. I've already downloaded it though, so you don't have to actually wait for me to download it in this video tutorial. And what it does is it downloads a zip folder, and you need to extract that folder. Let's just see if I've got it in my downloads. Just going to open. What I can do is I can show you the zip. There we go. And the reason this is running slow is because I'm running it on VMware, and it's extremely slow, even though I've got 16 gig of RAM on my machine. So, downloads, what was it called? Okay, downloads. Yeah, so basically I'd already downloaded it, yeah, and this is it. So I'm just going to cancel this download. So I clicked on that, it downloaded it, it downloaded it into my downloads folder. I then right clicked on it, and I went to extract all, like this. And what I did, make sure you follow these steps carefully. Basically what I did next is I downloaded this and extracted it to a folder on my desktop called Air. Okay, so create a folder on your desktop called Air, and extract all the files that are in the zip file into this folder. So I'm just going to press OK. So extract. So I've already done all this, I'm just doing it again, just to show you how it all works. Let's It's going to take a minute. Okay, so again, I've already done all this, but I'll just cancel this for now. So what you should have, once you've done all of that, is you should have a folder here called A on your desktop with all those zipped files extracted and inside that folder. Now what's really important is you then need to put this folder directly on your C drive. So if I just go to my C drive, so C drive, you need to put this folder called A with capital letters in a folder on your C drive called SDKS. So look, on my Bootcamp C, I created this SDKS folder here. I created that just by going to right click, new folder, and just creating a folder called SDKS. I then open that and I put this folder that's on my desktop into this folder. Okay, so that's what you need to do. I'm just going to delete this. So I extracted the files, saved them into a folder called A on my desktop, and moved that folder onto my C drive into a folder called SDKs, small lowercase s. Right, the reason that I did that is because what I need to do next is go to a website that explains, which website was it? Not that one. This one? Nope. This one? Nope. This one? Yeah. So the next thing I did is I found this website here. Where is it? Sitting in this path here. So again, I'll give you a short URL to this. So your next step is to go to this website. There's a short URL for it. Yeah. This is a 1 here. And what this tells me to do is it tells me to go to my command prompt. So start cmd. This, and it says, right, type in set path, right, and it gives you all this stuff. Don't worry if you haven't got all the same stuff as me like this. But then it says what you need to do is command prompt. You're going to write some commands in here later on that will create for you the certificate, but the commands that you're writing will be written to the ASDK. So that folder that I've just written has got some compilers in it, and I'm going to write in my command prompt here some commands that SDK understands. But the problem is, when you first run this command prompt doesn't know where that SDK is. Alright, so all you need to do is this. You need to go to the start menu, right click on computer, go to properties. Inside here, click on the advanced system settings. That'll bring up this system properties dialog window. On the advanced tab here, click on environment variables. Now on this systems variable section here at the bottom, scroll down until you see path there. Then click edit. Now then, this is where it's really important because I've already done this, what you won't have, you won't have this, you won't have that in that variable value. So these bits of code here, if you can see them, won't be actually in your variable value list here. So it says that, look, you need to copy this and paste it in here. Now I did that. What I did is I copied this. I copied this from the website here, and I pasted it at the end of this list. I did that, and then I followed the rest of the instructions, and still nothing worked. And the reason was, after I've done that, I pressed OK, press OK, press OK. It says, right, close command prompt. Then go back and type in this in command prompt. And if that works, if when you click that you have no error, you're sorted, you're ready to go. But the problem I had was that it still didn't work, and I had this Java error. And the reason is I needed to also tell command prompt where this folder was. So what I'm doing in command prompt here by putting this is I'm telling command prompt where SDKs bin. I'm telling it where this folder is. Yeah, that's what I've typed in here. Semicolon C, da 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 da. I'm telling it exactly where that folder is because it needs these compilers. But the problem I had was that it also needs program files. It also needs that folder. Yeah, Java, JRE, or any in here. You might have lots of these. You might have lots of Java folders inside this folder. So just choose the latest one. But inside here, it also needs to know where this directory, this bin folder. So I had to type exactly the same again, but locate that folder as well. Yeah, so once I'd gone into here, I just clicked on this folder, got this, copied it, and pasted it in here. If you do just this bit, so if you do just this bit that it tells you on this website, and everything works, brilliant, you're fine. But if it doesn't work like me, you also need to tell it where this Java bin folder is. Okay, so that's what I've done. So I've added both of those folders, press OK, press OK, press OK, and then have to make sure command prompt is closed, because if I try running this and without closing it, nothing will have updated. So I have to close command prompt if you've still got it open, open command prompt again, like this, and then to test that everything works fine, you just type in ADT space hyphen and write the word version, press enter, and as long as you get no errors, there you go, that's fine. Again, you have probably got no idea why I've just done that. Just trust me, you need to do that. This will allow you now to create your certificate that you need. So, where's the script to create the certificate? This is the script you need to create your certificate. So your Apple DEveloper Certificate that you need. This is the line of code that you need to write. So these are the set of commands you need to write in command prompt now. Now you've got the Air SDK sorted to create for you that certificate. However, you need to read this carefully because you need to change some things on here. Yeah, so I was reading this thinking, oh gosh, what do I need to change? What do I need to change it to? So I find another website, which is this one. Oh, let me give you a short URL to this. First of all, I'll give you a short URL to this one. So if you need to access this website to read all about what I've got to type in here, just go to that short URL. Yeah. And this website here gives you an actual example of what you could write. I'll just make this a bit bigger. There. So this, which one is it? This line here is an example of what I could actually write. I could literally write that in there. This website tells us, oh, you need to add these things to it, but then you've got to change certain bits. So you need to change this, 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 etc. Whereas this one literally tells you, right, you can grab this and put it in there. However, first of all, here's a short URL for this website. Yep, up here. What you need to do, so I can copy this, copy, go in here, right click, paste, like that. And then what I did is I went back into here and said, right, well, what do I need? Because you can see, well, I haven't got all of this. And the reason is this line of code here takes out all these optional things. Yeah, so I haven't put that in, I haven't put that in, I haven't put that in, I haven't put that in. But you can see here, look, I need this, I need this, I need this. This is what you're going to call your certificate. So if you don't want to call it a digital ID, you can change that. You must write this, or you could write this. Yeah, so one or the other. Now then, I've just realised might be something missing here. I'm sure this one. Oh no, that is optional. Yeah. So instead of this, you could write this. I did a bit of research what the difference between this is, and supposedly this one's more secure. 204.8 RSA. So what I'm going to do is just go in here, use your arrow keys to go back. I'm going to go 20.48 RSA. this is what you're going to call the file. Now this bit's important because this is what you're going to call your certificate, and depending on where you are, it's where it'll also put the certificate. So if you go back to this lady's example, she says the output. This is the path and file name for the certificate file to be generated. So basically it's saying, right, where do you want to save the certificate when it's done? So if I just write the name of the certificate, the file name .p12, that's the extension for the certificate. If I just write that, it's going to save it wherever I am in command prompt. So it's going to save it in C drive, users, mark. So that basically means, whoops, what's going on here? So that basically means if I go into here, when I've created this file, it's going to go to C drive, users, mark. It's going to save that certificate just here, right here. So that's fine. If you don't want to save it there, you can change that directory. Okay, but I would just save it there if I were you. This bit is a password. So there's no way I'll remember that password at all. This is the password that you need later on in Flash to actually run the certificate. So you need to remember this for sure. You definitely need to remember this. Okay, so I'm not going to use this really long weird password. For this example, I'm just going to type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's my password. So as you can see, I've copied all of this stuff. I've changed this bit. I don't know why. I don't think I have to, but I just read a bit of research that says it's probably better off to use this one. This is where I'm going to save it, or the file name I'm going to save it as. I've explained that that's going to save it in C drive, users, mark. That's obviously my name. You'll have your name there. And this is the password that you're going to set for that certificate. So once you've done that, hit enter in command prompt. Fingers crossed. Is it going to work? Yes, you see, it's just created this file for me. Yeah, so that's my signing certificate. That's the developer certificate that you need to create apps or run apps on a simulator in Flash CS6. So now I've done that, what I need to do is I'm going to copy this. Ta-da. I'm going to put it somewhere more sensible, so I'm going to go back to the Mac here now, and I'm going to just save it on my desktop. I'm going to right click, paste item. Ooh, where does it put it? Here it is. Yep, there it is. So I've just swapped operating systems here and just put that on my desktop of my Mac. What do I need to do next? Oh yeah, this bit took me ages to figure out. What I need to do now is when I go into, so I've got my certificate, everything's fine, but in Flash, there's certain things that you have to do to actually run that certificate. So back in Flash, if I go to Target 3.4 for iOS and click on this toolbar here, this took me ages to sort out. Basically, the general settings, you need to change stuff there, and the deployment, you need to change stuff there as well. So general, this means, right, what do you want to call, or where do you want to put the output file, the file that literally is your app. Yep, so not your Flash file, not your Swift file, the IPA file, which is your app file. Where do you want to put it? So I'm going to go click on this folder. I'm just going to stick it on my desktop. I'm going to save it as test2. Save. So that's me saying where I'm going to save the actual file. The iOS Simulator SDK, this one took me ages to sort out and figure out. Basically, you've now got to go and find, when you downloaded Xcode earlier, you've got to go and find the simulators that come with that Xcode. So to do this, remember how I said, remember how I said that I've got two versions of the application now. I've got Xcode 2. Whatever and Xcode 3. Whatever. So the latest one I downloaded, like I said to you, is in the applications folder on my hard drive there, right? But the trick is, what you now need to do is you need to explore this application and figure out where the simulators are. So the way you do it is you right click on Xcode and you show package contents. That'll open up this. You then need to go to contents. you then need to go to Developer, you then need to go to Platforms, you then need to go to iPhone, let me just extend this a bit, iPhone Simulator Platform, you then need to go to Developer, you then need to go to SDKs, and then in there you'll have a bunch of simulators that you can run. I've only got one, but you might have several. You can download different simulators. So what this iOS Simulator SDK wants here is it wants this folder. Yeah, it wants the root to that folder, so it wants all these directories routing to this one. Now to get that directory, if you right click on this and go get info, you haven't gone quite far enough because it doesn't actually give you that folder in the directory here, look. Yeah, so what you need to do is just go inside one of your simulators and click on any of the files that are in there. Yep, so I could click on this, or I could click on this, doesn't matter. Just click on a folder that's inside there. Then right click on that folder, get info, and it gives you the directory of your SDK, of your simulator SDK. So copy that, go back in here, paste it. So what I've done is I've told Flash where I want you to output the file and where the simulator is on my computer. The next thing you need to do is click on deployment, and this is where you tell Flash where the certificate is that you've just made. So I'm going to tell Flash where that is. Yeah, so certificate, click on this folder. On my desktop I have, where is it? There. That's my certificate. Press open. This is the password that we created earlier on. So if you remember in the command prompt when I entered in all this stuff, yep, I set the password as 123456. So in here I have to type in 123456. I always do this, remember password for this session. I think that's it. Yeah, so that should be it, so press OK. Now back in Flash, obviously create your app, so here we go, I'm going to create a very quick app. My app's going to be a circle, that's going to tween into a square, set keyframe, this keyframe, draw a square, like that, right click on here, create shape tween, like that, save. Just going to save this on my desktop as test2. Okay, so that's my app created. It's not the world's best app. Now I want to view it on the simulator. So in my Flash CS6, I just go to the top. You can't see this again, but I go to the top, I click Control, Test Movie, and then you should have an option in Test Movie called On iOS Simulator. Yep, click on that. And then this should happen. This time, again, if this doesn't work, you've done something wrong. So if this isn't publishing, you've done something wrong in the previous steps. And there you go, there's test 2, click on it, and there's my app. If I want to change, this is obviously on an iPad, just go to the top of this simulator and then the hardware option right at the top. So again, you can't see this because it's at the top of my Mac screen. With hardware, device, change it to iPhone. Change to iPhone, scroll across, test 2. Ta-da! And that's it. That's how you create or test an app that you've created in Flash CS6 in an iOS simulator. Thank you.